Hello guys, in this video I want to talk about stuff that I have added to FusionX since the last video on the channel. So the first thing, the biggest probably thing that I have done is I have ported the entire thing to FNA, I think that's how it's pronounced. So we don't use monogame anymore because it's slow and sometimes it does things that we don't want to happen. And using FNA, it basically allowed me to use native ahead of time compilation for this entire project. So let me quickly show you what this means. So here we have our FusionX executable, and this is our game window. So I'm gonna just toggle this debug menu and place it somewhere here and just run the benchmark. This benchmark was given by a user from my Discord server, and I highly appreciate that because I can't really make benchmarks in Fusion. So actually, no, let's run it under normal runtime first. So this one, it summons about 2,000 objects and runs pretty fine. Let's try some more objects. So here we have like 5,000 of them. And if we do this one, the runtime starts to lag a lot. Like we are at 10,000 objects and we have like 30 FPS. And if I try to do the fourth one, it's just gonna kill the runtime, I'm pretty sure. Actually no, it's still running somehow, but okay, let's see what happens to FusionX when we do this. It's still much slower than the normal Fusion runtime, but at least it's, well, it can run something like this. So turn on the debug menu, and we don't have fonts, we don't have effects for strings because I haven't implemented them and they were not implemented in the original runtime, and we don't have frame and layer effects because because that also wasn't implemented. Alright, so we have like 1,500 objects and the game is running at a pretty normal frame rate. So let's try increasing that, and the game dies pretty much. So now let's run this under native ahead of time compilation runtime. It's not actually a runtime, it's just a native binary that we have. So if we run it now, get the same debug menu and do it with like the second option here. As you can see, it runs pretty fine, and we can even try that with this one, but we need to lower our target FPS, because if we don't do that, then everything is gonna break because of the way FNA works. Yeah, so we're running at about 30 FPS, and no, I need to make that number even smaller to make it work properly. Alright, so at about like 11 frames per second, it can handle 10,000 objects, which is not a perfect result, but a pretty good one for a runtime that hasn't been updated for 10 years. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to show you. Let's try a different benchmark. In this one, I'm gonna use this one, and we can spawn some objects with some amazing physics. And this one actually gets pretty laggy as well, but if we decrease this number to like 45 FPS, then we can handle some more objects. So I think my next goal would be to make it possible to dynamically change the target FPS when we need to. So like if we have a lot of objects and the game can't run at 60 FPS, then we'll lower the target FPS so that it can still run at least at a lower frame rate. And let's see how many of those I can summon before the game crashes completely. well, I wouldn't call that playable, but at least it kind of still runs, which is a good sign. And I haven't optimized any of the runtime parts yet, like events and even the rendering, because I don't think I really need to do it before actually doing everything with the framework I can to make it as fast as possible without touching the actual runtime. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to show in this video. Thank you for watching and goodbye.